Hello lovely people! This week I am doing my traditional 10 books I want to read in 2018.
Doobie 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 doo. Doobie 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 Sophie Vlogs.
Every year I set myself 10 books because I never know what kind of reading this year it's going to be, and I'm always just like, give myself 10. Didn't really achieve the 10 last year, 2017. Read a lot of books. Missed a whole bunch that were on my list. So like, I'm a bit wishy-washy, but it's a fun tradition, and these are all books which I really do want to get round to. So, first off, we've got... Sorry, I looked at all the books. I got overwhelmed by Gorgiosity. You're probably going to recognise a bunch of these from very recent haul videos, but there will be a couple of, like, non-recent books in here. I'm just going to stop babbling. I'm just going to dive in. First up, we have Lyonesse, book number 3, Madook, by Jack Vance. I've been reading this in 2017. I read the first 2 books. This is the final book of the trilogy, I believe. I haven't been getting on with them as much as I thought I was going to. I think I thought I was going to like them a lot more. Maybe I put too much pressure on myself. Who knows? But Lyonesse, is supposed to be this mythical city off the coast of Cornwall or something like that. So these play a lot with fairy tale tropes and stories and that sort of thing, but they sort of like incorporate those like story types into the series. We've gone some places since the first book. I am genuinely interested to see how all of this gets resolved, where it's actually going. This one, based on the title, small spoiler, is probably going to focus on this fairy changeling child who is currently living in a palace somewhere. That's all I'll say. I won't say any more. But suffice to say, I'm very interested in this setup. I love me a good, like, fairy tale changeling story. So maybe with the third book I'll, like, finally find my footing with the series. Who knows? Keeping up the fairy theme, but going for a bit of a throwback, I also want to read The Fairy Queen by Edmund Spenser. I started reading this in my final year of university, and then I got a couple of books into it, and then I had to give it back because I was graduating and I couldn't use the library anymore. But this is like a massive verse poem. It's very iconic, very well known, and I just feel like it's about time that I actually sat down and I finished it off. The final one in my sort of run of fairy tale inspired books that I want to read is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I hauled this very recently. I was very excited when I hauled it. It's about like this town, well, there's like this village, and then there's this like wizard in a tower, and however often he comes down and he claims a girl to be his like assistant or something, and the main character is like, he's gonna choose my sister or friend, dearest friend, because she's beautiful and lovely, and so she's like, I will stop this from happening. So obviously he's gonna choose our main character, and shenanigans will ensue. Don't know what those shenanigans will be. Very excited to find out what those shenanigans will be. After that, I have a small run of sci-fi books I want to read. These are my genres. I love them. I'm just diving into them this year. So, my 4th book I want to read in 2018 is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, because, as we've talked about, I keep buying Ursula K. Le Guin books because I think I'm going to really like her stuff, and then I just don't read them. So this is all about, like, this world that this ethnologist is sort of observing. People there are androgynous, and so there's this whole like political, like gender politic type angle, I think, in this, which I'm really interested to just sort of see how this all plays out, see what goes on. So yes, excited for this. And then immediately followed by The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, which I have heard so many good things about on BookTube. Everyone has just been telling me that this is great, and now I want to find out how great it is. All I know is it's a bunch of people on like a spaceship doing some things, and apparently there's a whole like found family type theme in this, and I love me a found family book where that's my jam. And yes, so that's all I know about this. I think that's all I need to know about this. Super excited to dive in. If you have read it, please tell me that you also liked it, because I heard such good things. And the last one of my sci-fi books is Radiance by Catherynne M. Valenti, which I am really excited for. I love Catherynne M. Valenti. She is amazing. And I've never read her do sci-fi before. I've only ever read her do like fairy tale, mythology type things. So this sounds super great already. It's about this like filmmaker who goes to Venus to shoot this sort of documentary thing. Something goes wrong. The only thing that is left of her are these like fragments of footage and stuff like that. So I feel like it's kind of going to be a sci-fi mystery thing, heavily influenced by film. The cover is very like Metropolis. I'm just, oh, I'm excited. This is going to be a good one, I feel. She's never let me down yet, as Catherine Valenti. So, very, very excited. So, I think we're on number 6, 7, I have no memory anymore. So, suffice to say, the next book is The Gap of Time by Jeanette Winterson, and this is a reinterpretation of Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale. I studied The Winter's Tale at university. It's one of those ones where you know you study something and you're like, I don't really love you, but now I have lots of thoughts and opinions on you. So I'm mostly just excited to see how this is going to be reinterpreted, what it's going to be like, if someone will be pursued by a bear, all of that jazz. Excited to find out. Sort of vaguely continuing the like mythology kind of theme, I don't know, is Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. My friend is currently reading this, and she's saying that it's life-changing and it's wonderful and she loves it. My mum has read this. She gave me this copy, and she said it's great, but she has a tendency to waffle on a bit. So, like, two slightly different things there. Suffice to say, I'm going to dip my toe into this from time to time, I think. I think Clarissa Pinkola Estes is sort of looking at mythology about women. It's all about contacting the power of the wild woman. I don't really know what that means. I'm just going to try and read it, and if she does get a bit waffly, I might have to do some skim reading, but maybe I'll find it utterly delightful. We shall see. Book number 9 is Refugee Capital by Yorgos Ianu. This looks at, oh well, the subtitle is Thessaloniki Chronicles, and he's looking at his birthplace, the city of Salonika, and it's like sort of autobiographical essays and prose writings and that sort of thing. So I'd say there was a massive influx of refugees in the 1920s, which really changed, or like it was a big time of change for the city, that sort of thing. I did a modern Greek literature module at university back in the day, and this was one of the books I bought for this. I got about halfway through, but then we never actually studied it, so I sort of put it on hold because, you know, like, read the text you have to memorize and shit. So suffice to say, this is another one that I started and got a bit into, found it really, really interesting, stopped reading because university overtook everything, and now I feel like it's time for me to finish this and start again from the beginning, because I can't remember a lot of it, but I'm into non-fiction this year. I'm into non-fiction 2017, I've been really enjoying it, so hopefully this will be a good non-fiction book to like sort of kick off 2018 with. And finally, my 10th book is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. I don't really know a lot about this, I just think that Sarah Waters is going to be someone who I love. The main character is a thief in this sort of like alternative reality Victorian style world, place, might be London, don't know. That's about all I know. I just feel like me and Sarah Waters have the potential to do wonderful things together. That sounds weird. I think I'm gonna like her stuff, that's what I'm saying. So I'm excited for this. So, that is everything. Those are the 10 books I want to read in 2018. Do let me know what you're planning on reading in 2018. I know that none of these are new releases. That's because, like, I don't plan that far in advance. I impulse buy books in charity shops. That's my style of book buying. But suffice to say, I'm really excited for all of these. If you've read any of them and you think I should prioritise certain ones, just let me know. And I hope 2018 is going to be full of lots of sparkly goodness for you and many, many a good book. I shall see you next week.